Good morning, good afternoon, and of course, good evening, traders from across the globe. Thank you, as always, this time for tuning into my 2,950th edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar Carboni. All right, so we got through the Fed meeting, right? We got through a lot of quarterly reports, but you got to make sure that your stops are in. These markets are starting to go crazy. If you're trading markets, put stops in. Now, what's going on? For trading on August 1st, first day of August, 2025. I'll clap hands for that. You know why I'm clapping hands? We're going to get out of the summer doldrums eventually. We have 5 more weeks of this nonsense. Have you seen the trading lately? It's been tough, right? It's like churning trying to get trades out of these market moves. But we'll get through it like we do every summer. So, the market has been going up, right? Stock market. It rallied on the build-up to the Fed meeting, government reports, quarterly reporting. Now what? Right now, what are you going up on? You got to feed a bull every day, kids. You got to feed a bull daily. I immediately got sell signals in my OMNI for NASDAQ, Russell, OMNI, S&P, and that's what we expect for trading on Friday. So, boom, just like that. As soon as the bull ran out of food, we started to back off a little bit. But I'm not worried about it. You know, nothing goes straight up. But we will be sellers of rallies as we've got a red OMNI for trading on Friday, E-mini S&P, NASDAQ, Russell. Number 2 on the board, metals, precious metals, gold, copper, silver, platinum, palladium. Keep your eyes on those. Starting to go down, kids. We had a nice, big, long run for a while. A lot of that was a buildup, worried about tariffs, worried about this, worried about that, a lot of stuff, uncertainty about Trump. A lot of that's wearing away now. The dollar was going down, metals were taking off. Well, dollar's starting to go up. A lot of that worry is going away, and metals are starting to come back a little bit. So you got to keep your eyes on them, and I'll show them to you. Cadence, CDNS. If you took my advice and bought Cadence, yesterday I mentioned you might want to start taking some profits. I am telling you now, get out, take your profits. Great trade, kids. What can you ask? I mean, what more could you ask from analysis, right? The analysis says, get in, it's going to go. You get in and it goes. What more could we want from a crystal ball like a chart? It's a wonderful thing. So, Cadence, take your profits. And number 4 on the board that we will look at is Bitcoin. It is following the stock market as it normally does. Stock market decided to turn towards the dark side, and so is Bitcoin. Now, over the years, and it's even crazier to think that I've heard this a few years ago, but over the years, including now, I hear people say, well, the stock market follows Bitcoin. You know, grow up, kids. How could that be possible? Here's why. We're talking, if you could count, forget about the private money, if you could just count the public money that's in the stock market, you're somewhere in the $48 trillion mark. That's not even with the private monies. You're nowhere near that in Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin does not lead the world around. It follows the massive U.S. stock market. Sometimes they break apart, but generally they kind of run with one another. Why? Well, because Wall Street has spent the last couple of years, and now especially they're hammering at it like crazy, building out systems for crypto, Bitcoin, you name it. Why? Because we have a president and his whole panel, if you will, his administration, they love Bitcoin. Our president has his own token, you know what I'm saying? These people love crypto. So Wall Street is building out, knowing you got at least 3.5 years of this, and boy, oh boy, are they building systems. That's why we're getting all this movement crypto. Now, it's going to come down with the stock market, Bitcoin, but that's going to give us buy opportunities. In fact, I've got a bunch of alerts set all the way down where I would consider buying if those alerts get hit in Bitcoin on the way down as we correct a little bit. We don't do a lot of correcting. When you get it, grab it. You know what I'm saying? So traders, I've got great charts to show you, but one of the most important things we're going to talk about today is this. OmniCamp's happening this weekend, and right after that, guess what? Australia, here we come, baby. OmniCamp in Australia. We are planning an OmniCamp in Australia. If you are in Australia and you want to join my OmniCamp, go to OMNI BOOTCAMP right now and fill out those applications. I've heard from some of you in the past. If you want to fill them out again, great, because the stuff that comes in now, they're going to be my students, and off I'm going to go. Make sure you're part of it. Australia, you want to come to OmniCamp? OMNIBootcamp.com. Fill out those applications. I'm coming to you. Get ready, boy. It's going to be a blast. I've been to Australia before. I've done seminars there. I know Australia. I can't wait to go back. I've got friends there. Make sure you're at my Omni Camp. Fill out your applications right now at OMNIBootCamp.com. So, traders on the board, stock market rallying on bullish news about the Fed on quarterly reporting, government reports. Is there any more food? Do we need to come back a little bit? I think a few days, yes. Keep your eyes on metals, Cadence, take your profits, and Bitcoin, wait until you see the charts. We're going to look at those great charts right now. I want you to make sure you pay attention, but before we look at them, we're going to practice our mantra, the thing that gets us out of trouble when we get into bad trades. One thing is saying, I'm only going to lose this much today. It's another thing to put your stop in first and make sure that that is what happens on a bad day. Always do that, and then say this to yourselves, especially if you're in a bad trade. Are you with me? 1, 2, 3. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Rock and roll, traders. Now let's go look at some charts. Okay, traders, E-mini S&P daily bar chart. I've been showing this to you for so many videos I can't count. The Trump got it all wrong rally. It's been wonderful. But we did just have a Fed meeting. We did just go through a whole bunch of reports. Unemployment comes out tomorrow. We did just see quarterly earnings, and that's probably what we were waiting for to finally have a little bit of a pullback. So if you'll note, we stayed inside the support every time we got to it, and finally we're through the support. Now, it's not just a big bar. This is E-mini S&P, but Thursday's bar was what you call an outside bar. It was higher than the day before's high. It went lower than the day before's low. That makes it an outside bar, which has broken support. You better believe Wall Street will be looking for a down day on Friday. You know, I don't know if it'll last the entire day, because you know how our days can be, but they're going to start this thing off by hitting it. NASDAQ, same sort of thing. We were staying very smartly inside of the support. Support lines were being tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Boom, finally you got through it. And in the same fashion as the E-mini S&P, NASDAQ puts in an outside bar, a higher high than the day before's bar, a lower low than the day before's bar, broke support lines, and we've got a red Omni, so we'd be selling rallies in NASDAQ S&P. If you look at the YM, you got the same action going on. You see how it finally got below the support line. Boom, boom, it is here now. Same as ES and NQ. So we can see that the indices want to have at least a pullback day. We'll see what happens past Friday. Bitcoin, I love to clap for Bitcoin. In this case, I'm going to clap. You know why? Because I want to buy this bitch when it goes lower. So I'm loving this. Go lower, please. So we look at how many times we held support here, right? Just kept holding. It started there. Finally, we get through it with 2 bars. Omni turns red. It looks like we fell out of what could have been some kind of a flag building right here. So maybe we get a down day on Friday. That's what it looks like it wants to do. I know that anything on this dip down here, maybe it wants to fill the gap that was left here. Anything down there, we probably want to start buying dips once it gets there. But we'll take it one day at a time. Sell the rallies at least for Friday. Buy the dips if you want to stay in long term. Now, here's what you got to keep your eyes on, kids. Here come the precious metals. We had a lot of upward movement for quite some time. Bull flags, running into more bull flags, staying inside of really smart channels. Trajectory is starting to change. We're even getting below really strong averages, as you can see. So we're below the average, and look at the trajectory now. It's not the same as what we've had, right? So trajectory, platinum starting to change. Look at this. Palladium starting to change. Look at that one now. Boom, boom. Same sort of thing, right? What else do we have in the precious metals? Silver. Remember how many times silver was a buy at this spot? And finally it breaks, and breaks pretty hard. Silver as well on its way down. And then you'd have to look at this guy and say, what happened here? Copper. look at this is one daily bar. This is Wednesday's daily bar. That's no joke. You know what, though? That's tariff driven. The tariffs were taken off a country that imports a lot of copper or exports to the United States that we import from, and that was a tariff move, but it's still part of the metals, right? So metals coming down. And then you've got this. Gold is starting to do the same. Gold has broken through the bottom of this, which was a very nice pennant flag building, right? Top of the flag, bottom of the flag. Well, you got through that, and now you started to get through the outer support line as well. Support lines are being tested. If gold follows the rest of the metals, you will get a down day on Friday as well. What's bringing all of this to us? Well, we had a dollar dropping while the metals were rallying. But now we've got a dollar rallying, and if you know how this works, let's say that we were outside in a park, and this is a teeter-totter. If you've got dollars on one side and gold on the other, if dollars go up, gold will go down. That's the way the teeter-totter works. It's just like a seesaw. Gold goes down when dollars go up so much. Dollars going up puts weight on precious metals, and that's one of the many reasons why the metals are starting to back off. Traders, I hope that helps. Make sure I see you at livewithoscar.com. And Australians, make sure you fill out your Australian OMNI camps, omnibootcamp.com. I will see you all in Australia.